Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti outside the Bland outdoor swimming pool. Pete, I think their money would have been better spent on an indoor swimming pool.
3 weeks in a row we've been down here, Darren. I reckon
Well, the garbage truck won't come today because we've tricked him. He empties the bins on Friday mornings, so we're here Thursday.
And so one of the people up in those houses and everything, look at those two stooges down there, they're back again.
Yep.
So anyway,
undercover.
Bit fresh.
Very fresh. Very fresh.
Yes.
Well, the week's flown.
Has?
It's hard to believe it's Thursday again. It's hard to believe it's a horse's birthday. When?
Saturday morning, isn't it?
Saturday, is it?
What are we, the 30th, 31st tomorrow, Friday, 1st of August, Saturday.
They all turn another year older, Pete.
Yeah, by the calendar for all of them.
Yep.
Obviously they spread over 3 or 4 months, their birth dates, but...
August, eh?
August the 1st, where's the
hard to believe. It also marks the commencement of really the official foaling season. So this year we've got 2 mares due to foal in August, followed by 10 or 12 in September, followed by 14 or something in October. So all the way through to December, it's going to be a long spring.
The maternity doors are just starting to swing.
We always know when foaling season's upon us, Pete, because you look at the forecast and it says rain every day. So I'll see next week we've got 5 days of rain.
What's so you said 2 in August?
Chocolicious and Savo Babe.
Right, early, late, mid? Anytime?
Mid. So first up's Chocolicious. We're looking for a deep field out of her. And Savo Babe, we're waiting on a Dandino.
Right. So if you want a tough, hardy foal that's going to cope in any conditions, born in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be resilient.
I'm trying not to think about it, but I must admit...
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about foals.
I must admit I had to get the foaling bat phone out last night and put it on charge. It's a secret phone, and they can ring me in an emergency so I can give them a hand.
You turn that off when you go to bed, don't you?
Very scary, Pete. Phone always rings between 1 and 3. Help. It takes me about 7 minutes to get there.
I suppose the only good thing about it from our point of view is we're heading towards spring when we talk about foals.
Yeah, it's all happening, and it's all happening, and then it's not all happening. So
yeah, it's all sort of lockdown happening.
Well, it's all up the east coast now, so we just don't know what the future holds. But as I said the other day, Pete, when we're in March and we had lockdown, July seemed a long way away.
Here we are.
Here we are in July. Now we're worrying about what's going to happen to Christmas.
Yeah, well,
Melbourne Cup, Caulfield Cup, Christmas. Who knows?
Who knows what Christmas is going to look like?
No one knows.
No.
But anyway, it must be very, very contagious, this virus, because it's just unbelievable how it's spreading around. And it's all, I know it's in Victoria, it's mainly in the CBDs, and you really feel for people in nursing homes and the staff. And as I said to Liz last night, after reading some of those reports on the aged care joints, like if that's where we're going to end up, it's a scary thought. So you better be nice to those kids of yours, Pete, because they might bundle you off into one of those B-grade centres.
I've already got a little...
And it's not far away, you know.
I'm paying off on labour a little bungalow that I've got to sit out the back of one of the boys' houses.
They throw you a bowl of food once a week.
Have my little wheelchair path all
It's a scary thought though, isn't it?
Well, you know, reality says we're talking now. 20 years time when we're at that wheelchair stage.
Let's hope it's 20 years.
COVID 37 might be about.
Do you reckon we'll still have the same camera? Standing here on our walking frames?
Well, it'll have to be lowered as we're sitting on our chairs.
Yes.
So I don't know if we'd be standing here when we're 75. If we're still there when we're 75.
I'm just going to interrupt this broadcast to take a call here from Robbie Griffiths.
Live.
You're live on air, Robbie. Welcome to ATB TV. How does it go down there in the land of the living? Okay, so it's 9:45 and Robbie's just said on the phone that he hasn't got to the stables yet. He's had a bit of a sleep in, but he'll get there later on.
Lockdown.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind up in the land. But welcome to ATV. It's a really pleasure to have you on, Robbie Griffiths.
I'm on loudspeaker.
Yeah, what we were trying to find out was whether collectible was going to go around Sunday or we're going to save it for another day. Well, sorry for the interruption there, Peter, with Robbie Griffiths on the phone there. One simple question was, you know, is collectible running Sunday or not? And 30 minutes later, I think we got the answer that weather dependent.
Yep.
We'll try and avoid the heavy 10s, and she may go around Sunday if the weather's going to be heavy on Wednesday. So, funnily enough, Pete, he thought he was live on air and he was speaking the Queen's English.
So you got rid of the trader's vocabulary?
Yes, and after I reminded him that Cranbourne Training Centre is the only place in Australia where you just put a water walker on the ground, and you've got a walker on the ground. You've got an automatic water walker, and the only place where the water diviners go and point the thing above the ground to get the water.
Well, if Ballarat's the coldest city in the state,
Cranbourne's the wettest.
It has to be the wettest.
Yeah, has to.
You don't have to look at the trials.
You have to.
Every week they go, well, we're not going to trial this one because it's too wet. Well, you might as well just travel it somewhere to trial it.
Well, if we ever have an off season at Cranbourne, they tell me that they'll just plant rice.
Oh, dear.
All right, so that was good to hear Griffiths live, and then Eustace rang as well, but I didn't take the call.
Didn't take Mr. Eustace. We'll
get him
after.
later. We better get him, because we'll be talking about several horses with Mr. Eustace. Eustace later.
Eustace.
All right, last week only the 5 or 6 runners, Pete. No joy again.
No joy, but
a couple of promising runs.
A couple of nice runs.
And a couple of retired runs.
Yeah, a couple off the list.
Yes.
Penthouse Playboy, third at Waterball.
2000?
2000, sorry. Yeah.
Heavy 32.
Yeah, it was
sort of a Cranbourne track.
Yeah, least Waterball, you know.
Genuine.
That's it. You just get that genuine heavy track. They can all get through it. Well, some get through it. They all get through it. Some quicker than others. He was good, strong late. Probably what we wanted to see.
Yep.
Seen it.
Pulled up sound.
Yeah, and now we just push out to, well, he's been nommed for Sandown. He won't go there, it's too quick, but he's got in mind a couple of races that are points gathering races for the Jericho.
Looks like a 3,000 metre race, is that right?
Yep. He reckons he'll be fit enough to go there.
Okay.
So, but the best, you know, the good news is we've got 3 runs into him. There's a bit of a gap between a couple of them, but soundness is fine. And I think, as Pat said, now I can really work on his fitness and get him into that real match race hardened condition and head to those big trips.
Okay.
So he'll be winning sometime soon.
Really?
I won't say when.
Okay.
So that was last Thursday, I think.
Right.
Friday was, speaking of one of the retirees, which looks like he's heading that way, or not retired, sold, moved on, Whitemore.
Swanell. Who rode that horse? Ethan Brown.
Yeah. Horse gave nothing right there.
Horse gave nothing. They gave the same as each other, didn't they?
No, I don't think he could. He's pretty laconic afterwards, but I reckon you couldn't get too enthused by the way the horse ran.
No, Whitemore's really just hasn't fired a shot this prep.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ethan at Christmas time open his Christmas presents.
I'm glad that's what you said, Pete.
Because I don't think we'd too much excitement from the lad. He's a good lad. He's
a nice kid. He's just very low key.
Very Northern Territory.
They can't all be like us, Pete.
No,
up and about.
Out and about. But yeah, look, horse. Look,
he's just not going where he was a year ago. Like he's a horse that placed in town.
Last prep third, I think one of his last runs.
Looked like he was going to win a city race, and now he's just not doing it.
Well, that's a 58. He's beaten about 10 lengths, run 11th.
Yeah, hard to see him win the race for us. Anyway, the owners are at the voting table now, and we'll sort that out next week.
One horse that must have realised that we're going to vote on his future was Roderer, and he lifted. Red second, admittedly, again, a 58 at Chuka, but I think the key was a bit better service than out to a mile.
Strange. I think even Craig Newitt got a fright.
We'll go back over the last few grabs. Yeah, he said I didn't expect him to pick up and sprint. Well,
I think he went for him early because he thought he was a real slug and he just didn't go, and then he just took off and he got to the front too soon.
He got to the front before the corner and he got probably a little tired. He got a little lost.
How professional was the post race from Craig Newitt?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Like we interview jockeys post race, or the trainers do now, but Craig Newitt actually sent an email to the trainer and owners the day after, summing up what he thought, and
Michael Rod inspired stuff. This
thanked the owners for the ride and hoped that he could be on him next start. I thought that was to get an email like that. I think that's very professional.
And you had young Liam Reardon do the same when he rode one of ours.
He did.
just saying thanks for the ride, blah, blah,
You can
blah.
just see the changes.
Michael Rod come back from Singapore and he lobbed into the Lindsay Smith camp and he was jumping in his car. I think he went to Hamilton when it first started. I don't know, they might have called in for Macca's on the way home, but he did all his rides then.
Summarised them all.
Yeah, summarised them to the trainer who fed them out to the owners,
Yeah,
and it was
good.
like an after.
Yeah.
I mean, to grab them 2 or 3 minutes after the race.
Puffing and breathing and thinking. But
they go and watch the replay and then they give a thorough summary. I reckon it's very professional and good.
Yeah, I thought it was very good of Craig Newitt, a rider of his ilk, to do that. I thought
And
very
this
good.
time where no one's on track, it's just another additive to what you probably want.
But Rudder was good.
Yeah.
He took off, and maybe the answer is he is looking for 1,600,
Yep.
2,000,
He
because
got-
I had him done and
Yeah.
dusted, as did a couple of the owners. But whilst we were waiting on the owners to make up their mind, Shays thought, oh, well, I'll just send him around again. And he's run second, so he probably gets another feed.
Yeah, well, he's earned $3 grand or something, so that keeps him going for a little while. But I noticed he probably cost himself a length. He wanted to lay in.
Yeah, he
but,
got lost when he got to the front. But anyway, that was
encouraging.
encouraging.
Promising. We go from good to
To
bad
bad.
to good to real bad.
Right.
Unfortunately, Murals.
Oh, don't be too hard on her, Pete. She did find 20 lengths.
Yeah, I do like your commentary here. She's improved 20, and if we go around again and if she improves another 20, win by 10.
Then Mara Eustace a genius if that happens, but I can't see it happening. No, she just looks like she doesn't really want to be a racehorse, or whether she's got the ability. But I do agree with a couple of comments I've had post-race, and I think you made the same point, is she's raced badly on synthetics both times, but trialled really well on wet ground. So maybe she doesn't like synthetic. Maybe she hates the kickback. I've got no idea, but if the Mars stable do want to give her another start, I think it should be on wet tracks. But gee, 2 starts for nothing. I don't know where we're going to get a run.
Well, the trouble is now, you might wait a month to get a run.
May not get a run.
You may not get a run.
In a year.
She's got $500 in the bank, and from now on, it's, your first
Big
starters
fields are all happening.
Yeah.
All the 2-year-olds turn 3. They're in the open maiden.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, she's been very disappointing. It's probably the only horse I've had out of that platelet family that just hasn't shown anything.
Yep.
Well, when I say nothing, on race day.
Yeah.
But I think we're clutching at straws. But look, I'll let David Eustace give us a summary, send it out to the owners, and then we'll have to decide what we do there. But I'd say it's looking a little grim.
Same day, we had Serious Deal, who's a horse that's been battling to get a run for various reasons.
Exactly what we've been talking about.
Bad barriers, or just not been emergency.
And suitable distance.
Yeah.
Because he's looks an 1,800 metre horse.
Yeah.
Until you get one, you don't realise how few there are.
Yeah.
and then when you get one, you get the wrong gate. So, look, back to 16, freshened up, 6 weeks between runs.
Yeah.
Ran okay without threatening.
He wanted to go.
I think the winner's all right though, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the winner goes good.
Probably wanted to get, and as it turned out, probably would have worked better if we were outside the leader.
Yep.
Because I think when he got to where he didn't lose ground, but he was never going to run over the top of them.
No, I think he's more or less, in my mind, we used to call them P2 horses, but he's a Wimmera Western Victorian sort of horse. That's where he's going to win his races out west.
I think
at Hamilton, Horsham.
I think he can win over a
Donald.
mile at 58 level, but he probably needs to get to 2,000 to win at the next level.
He's got to get to that second tier racing. So look, coming into spring, there'll be a lot of meetings. He can pay his way.
The word from the stable is he's pulled up fine. He's trained on well.
He has improved this prep.
Yeah, well, his consistency's been.
He's always
right
he
there.
tries.
Yep.
He's just probably a little bit limited, which some of the done deals are, Pete.
Yep, and I think we've seen an improvement from last prep to this prep.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there's much more improvement, but if you can win a 58 and a 64, you pay your way. And
They're having a little bit of fun with him, but he's not hopeless.
Balaclava yesterday, Hasano Dulce, out to 1400. There was a few scratches. I think it was back to a field of 8 or 9.
Yep.
She sort of held her ground on the inside. Got a little bit fired up there at one.
When they took the pace out.
Yeah. But she was okay to the line.
Yep.
She never looked like winning. She
No.
threatened to run a place at one stage. But I think you've decided.
I think we've pulled the plug there. She's not going to win a city race in Adelaide this time of year. Plus now we're going to run into good fours. So we've probably missed the boat there. The problem was, of course, is she's a 1400 metre horse, and we missed the boat the run before, and then there was no races suitable, so she had to go to Balaclava, and then of course she's got to win that to justify going on. We're a month out from the breeding season, so you know we've kind of run out of time with her.
Yeah.
You know, she carried 51 yesterday, so you know she had every chance there. I know she's probably better, ridden a bit colder and coming wide, but you know it looked to me like the horse that led and won dictated.
Yeah.
Not much ran on, so I think that's her. We're done.
Yeah.
And she'll be back home next week and off to the breeding barn.
Off to the barn. So that was it. So
All right.
we were sort of.
So let's go through this week's. We're very light on Pete. Probably 3 runners.
Fields will be out probably as we finish this up, so I'll
pop
put them up. We've got 2 at Donald potentially. Sunburn.
So when's Donald?
Saturday.
Saturday.
She was better at Geelong.
Sunburn. Yeah, since Matty Williams has taken over from Mick Price and Matthew, what's his name, the other bloke? Michael Kent Jr. He's really improved this horse out of sight.
Absolutely. Just settled down.
They should be pre-training for him. He'll hate that. Now she ran really well the other day.
Yeah.
She settled better. It was probably her best runner finding the line, and you know, would she start favourite there?
Oh,
If she draws well.
if she draws well, she's not winning at Donald.
And she's got a jockey that we know.
Yeah, Mr. Yandel.
Oh, is he riding?
I presume he.
Would he go to Donald Saturday?
Oh,
Wouldn't he be in town?
Yeah, maybe. He was saying the other day he was struggling to get rides anywhere.
Really?
How bad's that?
How can Dean Yendall be struggling
I
to
think,
get rides?
and that's this time of year where a lot use the apprentices, and the senior riders just get pushed aside a bit.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, geez,
I know what I'd rather.
Yeah, so would I. If he had been on White,
And that's no knock on the apprentices.
If he had been on Whitemore or Swan Hill the other day, I'd know a lot more.
Yeah, well, even there's a few. You could put him. Dean puts the horses into the race, and if they're good enough, they win. If they're not, I mean, sometimes we've seen him go a little early. I'd rather that.
Well, he beat me. He beat us at Echuca the other day.
Yeah.
One on one of Robbie Griffiths.
Oh yeah, right.
And we had that other filly that we bred.
Yeah, Danny Sparkle.
Yeah, the one with
Mr. Dalziel.
Mitch Freeman. I'm trying to think. So, no, Dean. If the horses are good enough, he puts them in the right spot and they win.
We've had times where he's gone early. I'd rather that.
Put him in the race.
Than be sitting back going, oh, look at that, we're flying over, ran 5th, beaten 3. You're never going to win a race like that.
No, that's true. Anyway. All right, well,
so we'll wait there.
We'll see who rides, but Sunburn have to nearly start favourite.
Yeah. Look, and I mean, again, I suppose it's stubborn to decide they're going to go there, but she'd be favourite and be very hard to beat.
It would be nice to get these runs in because, we're going to get some wet weather next week down here in Victoria. Heavy rain every day, so...
Husniaki is another one where we're looking to get a run.
Donald?
Yeah.
Will she get a run?
Paul's done the smart thing, nominating her for a 14 and a 16. She needs 16.
Right.
But
so
you probably just got to get her.
So she needs to really go to the next level.
Well, she needs this run, I reckon, to really top her off.
Yeah, he's struggling to get these horses fit at the moment with the lack of trials.
They've just started trialling Horsham again now.
Yeah, so it's been pretty tough.
Look, she just ran out of conditions, 12 to 16, and
on a heavy 30.
Paul understood. He said, "Well, look, that she was probably right to go on a firmer track, but not on the heavy track. So she should have took benefit. We just got to get a run."
Yep.
We're just as we were debating about collectible, Mr. Griffiths.
We've got the long story there.
So as you mentioned, it's either Sandown on a better track.
It's got to be Sandown because the Cranbourne, it'll be that wet.
They mightn't even race.
Wow, probably not.
So that covers them all, Darren. And look, she's going good. She was terrific, even though she finished 10th.
Yeah, if you get a look at that replay, she finished 10th, beaten 4?
Yes, less than 4.
Covered 45 lengths more than every other horse.
Burke and Wills, she covered their territory.
Who was that jockey?
Jai McNeil.
Oh yeah.
Well done to Jai. We count him all the time, or we have.
Well done. Why? What do we congratulate him for?
He won the Victorian Premiership.
What?
Countrywide, 130
Most wins?
Yep.
Around in Victoria? Jai McNeil?
Beat Stackhouse.
Oh, can't be right. Can't be right.
Well done, Jai. I'll say well done. I don't know how many of those there were else.
None. No, I think he rode one winner. Yeah. Missed 10,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One winner from 30 starts.
No.
All right.
And Williams won the Metro again, obviously. What's new?
That's all he wants to do.
But I see Oliver won the media award. He'll probably win the Scobie again.
Don't know how that
Craig
works.
only wins the races that don't count.
Does he?
Or Melbourne Cup.
Hope he doesn't watch this.
No, Willow.
He'll be after you.
We haven't been willowed by Willow for a while.
No, we haven't had him on, Pete.
No.
Righto.
So that covers it. There's obviously a couple of horses going to come through and race over the next few weeks. Connery, maybe Minatory.
South Pacific.
Yeah, South Pacific I think is next week. And yeah, in between
Hope he
time,
likes wet. Flemington won't be too wet.
one track that
All
can
right.
dry up. Righto.
Let's get on to it.
The main reason we're here,
The knockout.
the knockout comp. 141 entries, Darren.
That was amazing at
I'm
late
sitting
notice.
at home on Friday and there's about half a dozen come through and I thought, oh, that's good, they're in early. I'm trying to sleep Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's 11 a.m.
No, it was not. I reckon from scratching 7:30 when the first lot of ting, 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 my emails were going off on my phone. I threw the bloody thing under the bed. 8 o'clock, it got the better of me. I got up, got a coffee. There was 60 friggin' emails for this knockout comp.
So we ended up with
41 by 11 o'clock.
141, and how many are left?
In the knockout phase, correctly 31, but we had to give 3 people another chance because there was 2 races that were abandoned at Doomben.
Yeah.
And Roger Gleeson had a late scratching, so Roger rolls
So he gets
through.
to play again.
So
Yep.
35
That's fair.
out of the
So we've got
141.
35.
So 106.
So about a quarter.
Yeah, roughly. Yep. But you're sort of on the AFL sort of system, the rules committee.
I'm changing
here.
the rules as we go.
So the rules are going to be just altered for a week
Yeah, I'm going to
for
change.
some.
Now I've got some good news for some of you because, and I've got some bad news for some of the others.
Some are going to get highlighted.
Well, let's start with.
Bring in the new rule.
I had a good look through the stats and the winners around Australia,
Yep.
and you know it was quite interesting. For those that don't know, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and out of all those possibilities, there was only 8 letters of the alphabet that didn't provide a winner.
Yep.
So those people, their first name started with G, L, N, U, W, X, Y, and Z. There was no winners. So you couldn't have gone through. So what I'm going to do is for you people, I'm going to put you through to this week. So you're going to get one more chance.
Lucky wildcard entry.
So
I don't know how
who
many
are
people,
these
though.
people? Who are they? I think I saw someone there with the name G.
Greg Henwood's one.
Yeah, Greg, you'll get to
Glenn
go
Strybos.
through. Yeah, there's a few there. So we'll have to let you know, or Peter will send out an email.
There'll be an email go out
But
Friday.
Yeah, for anyone with a name starting with those letters, you get to stay in, and it's a 1 week only offer.
Yep.
No more to pay.
No. And
Now-
just on, everyone's still involved in the second component.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
still tipped.
put your tip in because the
Let us see how many give up. Don't care.
yeah, well, we'll
But there's
find
still
out.
that overall competition going.
Yep.
But for the knockout, there's 35 plus. I don't know. Waylon
Probably-
Bolton gets to stay in.
Might be
Well,
another,
he was abandoned anyway, so
might be another dozen or 15.
yeah, it wouldn't be that many. I reckon there'd be 6 or 8
Yep.
that get to go through. So I think that's fair. Les McDowell.
We'll wait for
He's
next
one of
week's
them.
rule.
No L's through there, Les. You get to play again. Now, on the other side of the scale, Pete,
Yeah.
there was a couple of letters that had massive number of winners.
Had a huge,
The most successful was the letter S. Now, anyone that has a Christian name starting with S that didn't tip a winner, you had 7 opportunities, Pete. And if your name started with M, you had 6 opportunities. How could you not tip a winner? And I don't want to highlight Stephen Travers or Sandy and Sophie Favre or these sorts of people. I don't think it's really fair.
No.
Sean Frost. I don't know what you're
Simon
doing.
McCarty.
Now, and the letter D,
Yeah.
which
Your
I had to pick.
yeah.
Now,
WT.
I went with the wrong one.
Yeah.
I think I had a choice of 3, Pete, and the other 2 won. I knew that WT stupid
I'm
thing
glad
couldn't
you-
win. It had 60
I'm
kilos.
glad you highlighted yourself.
And how'd you go?
I played thought I played smart. I went to the very last race in Australia.
I don't see you highlighted here.
No, I'm not highlighted.
You're out.
Mine ran third.
Yeah, well, so did mine. But I knew mine couldn't win when I tipped
I thought
it.
I'd be real
But David
smart,
Baker was smart. He got the winner up in Sydney that started with D.
Yeah, well, what about that? I reckon those ones that are on Huey Bowman's, they should.
And I tell
be
you,
the first.
you M's that all tipped mystery shot, you
Yeah,
favourite backers,
yeah.
you would have been a bit concerned at the 300 when
Yeah.
Oliver tried to outride him.
He got up there, put the pressure on. I reckon
that would have got rid of 25 people out of the
we
comp.
should
if
have
that
had
got
those
beat.
on Zoom and seen all the reactions halfway down.
all you Michael Eastmullers and Michael Halls. And, who we got here? Terry Farrell, who's Marie Farrell. Matthew Poyopolo, Mitch Newman,
Speaking of
Mark
letters,
Field, Michael Birds. That was the most tipped horse out of the whole comp.
Yep. Hey,
Maureen Plews did all right. She picked Morrissey. That's a, she didn't go for the favourite.
outside the square.
Mark Howley, well, you'd expect him to go with the favourite. He's a favourite picker.
Now, what about
Max Blackiston, he'd only go odds on.
What about understanding of the rules and using your Christian name or using your surname?
Well, I thought it was pretty straightforward that, you tip a horse that starts, its first name, it starts with the same letter as your first name. I thought that was pretty simple, but there's always one, Pete. There's always one that just doesn't know the difference between Christian and surname. Your mate.
Crowy.
Gary Crow.
Gary Crow.
What did he do? Send through a horse that started with C.
It's on there, what he went with. I thought he must have just kept his, long-standing family name of Charles or something like that.
Well, that's the thing. They could have different names. They could make it up as they went
Anyway,
along. I can't even find him.
I actually went to Luke, his son, and said, "Has your old man got a bogus Christian name?" He goes, "No." So then I emailed Crow, and he goes, "Oh shit, sorry, I go with the surname." And he tipped the winner too.
Get back on your header and go and plough some paddocks. Chris Crawford did well picking classy JB for the
Yeah, there's a
C's.
few outside the square.
I was going to go through and see who tipped the biggest price winner for the day, because I could have gave him an ATB cap for that.
I'll have a look. I reckon there was a $10 or $12 winner.
Well, I think we might just send you out a cap each week for the one that tips the longest price winner, because you favourite pickers, you don't really deserve anything.
Sentiments to Kenny Andrews. Ken was a bit he only had 1k to pick from it. It was 60 to 1.
How dare you go?
No, well, it was 60 to 1.
No good.
Ran like a 60 to 1 shot, but
oh well.
you can win the second.
Blame your parents.
You can you can win the second part of the comp, Kenny. Keep going.
All right. So So the what do we call that second part of the comp, Pete?
Oh, just the cumulative
Yeah.
points award.
I reckon half of them will drop out now they can't win the major prize.
I hope so. That'll save me 3 hours on a Saturday.
Now just remember, it cuts off at 11 o'clock and we had a few stragglers.
Yes, yeah, I did have to.
Now we're going to highlight you next week.
Yeah.
Or we're going to not let you play.
11 o'clock and
So
quite simply.
Do you know where the big hand is and the little hand is at 11 o'clock, Pete?
There's the big hand. When you put your tips, don't just write race 1, horse 2. Put the bloody name so I can match it with your Christian name. Otherwise, I've got to go in and find the name. And
so what do you reckon? We just rule them out if they can't be bothered typing in your name?
If it's not Rose Hill, race 1, horse 2, Clementine to match your Christian name, you're out. If you leave in here, you're out.
Because Pete has to go through and search through it.
And then I've got to search the results later. So
please, follow the rules. That's our message.
It's just a little COVID whinge. But
maybe get your licence out and look at your Christian name. Just photograph it, get the letter.
Crow will get it right this week, but he's out.
He's out, he's gone.
Oh,
He'll probably still tip.
He'll tip.
Anyway, it's a bit of fun.
Yep.
All right, so...
How many you reckon that'll last out of that 35? It might be 45.
There's a lot of M's in there, so it depends on how many horses that run with M or
Different lot of horses this week. None of the ones from last week will be running.
Even Graham Wood gets to stay in Pete. No G's one.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So anyway, all right, well there you go. So
I reckon it'll be back to 10. There you go.
Back to 10, all right. Well, I reckon I'll go 15.
Righto.
I think this comp could be over very quickly.
Hope so. Well, that part of it anyway.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, now we did say the rules are fluid, and when we do get down to the last bit, we might have to just, if we end up with all, half a dozen M's in there, they're all going to keep tipping the same horses.
Another new rule.
We might have to have another rule where we actually have you have to tip the card on the day.
or
We'll find a rule that
or
we need to flush out a winner so we can start again.
Or we pick out all the M's and we draw them out of the hat, and that's the horse you got.
Well, we might say they have to pick one over $6 or something.
Yeah.
So
Stay tuned for more new rules.
Yeah, I want to change the rules as we get close to the end, because if we end up with all the M's and S's left, which are the popular ones, then we need to flush a winner out so we can run it again if that's what we choose to do.
We're going to run by the seat of our pants a bit over the next couple of weeks.
And I reckon if I was doing this again, I reckon I'd say nothing under. You can't tip anything under $3.
And if we're doing it,
you favourite pickers are just going to go for the favourites all the time.
And if we are doing it again, you're doing the scoring.
Yeah, well, you told me it was easy. It was only one horse.
I thought this would be easy.
Hours of work, wasn't it? Yeah, hours to put it together. But that's a bit of fun.
No, all good.
All right, well, that's all we've got for this week.
Yep.
Good luck with your tips. 11 o'clock. That's sort of just after 10 o'clock, but before 12 o'clock. So if you think about the time you get out of bed and the time you eat lunch, it's right in the middle.
So I'm sleeping till 11 o'clock this Saturday, and
please,
my phone's going to be turned off.
Put them through at 6 a.m.
It's going to be turned off.
We should have a bonus for the ones that tip on Friday. There should be some sort of bonus.
That's a good point.
But we're not going to make it too hard because we'll have to timestamp it all.
Because then my phone.
Well, when I say we, I mean you.
Then my phone will be going off between 10 and midnight.
So I'm glad I've made friends with all the clients out there that start with S and M that didn't tip a winner, and the ones I named. I was kind on a few of you.
No Christmas cards.
Anyway, Pete will confirm all that in writing.
Go out tomorrow afternoon, the new rule and details and who's in and who's sort of just hanging on.
It'll be interesting to see if some of the people that are out that got back in don't bother to read the email because they think they're out.
That's the point.
We might highlight them next week.
And they'll stay out. Actually, they'll be out of the whole comp.
They will.
God.
All right, happy birthday to all your horses on Saturday.
Yep.
I'm feeding Saturday. It's my weekend on. So I'll give them all a special pat for you.
Must be going to rain.
I know. No, Saturday, Sunday's going to be good, and then it's going to turn. So I've got 4 days of get 5 days work done. Till next week, I'm Darren Dance with Peter Morganti at the famous International Belang Golf Club and Swimming Pool.
G for Gary Crow.
Good.